Are entering the track for the second $40,000 leg of the George Morton Levy Memorial Pacing Series. Number 1, OTB letter E, is league leader, part of the Don Sider entry for Henri Filion.
Disappointing last week was league leader, a badly beaten 8th in the opening leg of this series. That coming after back-to-back seconds to Skip by Night. Hasn't won in 8 starts this year, league leader, and really no reason he should do it tonight.
1A, OTB letter H, is Miller's Scout, completing the stable entry, Buddy Gilmour at the controls.
And Miller's Scout goes from post position 8. He had a rough time of it last week, also 7th. The excuse, his first outing of the year. He did bank $237,000 last year. They expect him to get a lot of mud kicked in his face again tonight.
Number 2 is OTB letter A, Champagne Happy. Tommy Merriman will drive.
Going from the rail. Started from the 9 post last week, right behind Rusty Abbott, who set the early pace. Instead, he dropped back to 4th in the early going and was never a factor, and he hasn't been since January 30th when he beat Skip by Night.
Number 3, OTB letter B, is Skip by Night. Teddy Wing handling the lines.
Going from the 2nd post position tonight. The 10 post last week did him in after 3 straight victories, 2 of them in 59 and 2. Made up some ground in the stretch last week. Should get off a lot better tonight. Despite his 4th place finish last week, this 5-year-old son of Meadow Skipper is the one to beat.
Number 4, OTB letter C, is Mostly Melvin, driven by Sam Noble III.
Goes from post position 3, a Midwest Invader who banked $181,000 last year. Raced outside a good deal of the way last week, taking 3rd, and do not count him out of it.
Number 5, OTB letter D, Rusty Abbott. Catello Manzi in the sulky.
Post position 4. Went to the front early last week, then sat behind Fight the Foe. The loss snapped a 3-race winning streak, including the finale of the Presidential Series at the Meadowlands. Followed that up with a win in 55 and 4. He's already earned $102,000 this year. A win tonight makes him a lifetime $500,000 horse. A note, in his only recent race on an off track at Roosevelt, January 15th, went off the odds-on favorite and finished 7th.
Number 6, OTB letter F, Midas Almahurst, scratch sick. Number 7, OTB letter G, completing the field, Fight the Foe, with Butch Dokey in the sulky.
Goes from the 7 post, 4 wins, 2 seconds, and 7 starts this year. Big surprise winner last week, going up in class to win it in 58 and 1. Nothing this 8-year-old does should surprise anyone. In 78, he was racing at $6,000 claimers. A year later, an open handicapper here in New York. He's beaten the best. The last 2 years, though, he's had knee problems. He's come back, and do not be surprised, and since he does also like the mud.
A crack group of pacers in the second leg of the George Morton Levy Memorial Pacing Series.
Promises to be a beauty, and here we have the Pacers up behind the gate. Skip by Night has been installed as the favorite, the 2nd division of the George Morton Levy Pacing Series. As we get set, they're all tight behind the gate, and Bob Meyer gives us the call.
They're off. Rusty Abbott, the center track, tries for the lead. Fight the Foe, the extreme outside 2nd. Champagne Happy on the rail 3rd. Mostly Melvin 4th. Skip by Night Alone inside 5th. League leader 6th. Miller Scout 7th. Around the turn down the backstretch. Fight the Foe on the outside. Rusty Abbott on the inside. Head and head for the lead. Straightening out down the backstretch. Fight the Foe has the lead by a length. Rusty Abbott 2nd. Gap of a length and a half. Champagne Happy 3rd. Mostly Melvin 4th. Skip by Night 5th. League leader 6th, Miller Scout 7th. Quarter time is 29 and 3. At the paddock turn the first time, Fight the Foe maintains the length advantage. Rusty Abbott 2nd, Champagne Happy 3rd. Mostly Melvin on the rail 4th, Skip by Night on the way on the outside 5th. League leader goes right with him 6th, gap of a length and a half. Miller Scout trails the field 7th. As they come by the stands the first time, Fight the Foe out on top by a length. Rusty Abbott 2nd, Champagne Happy on the rail 3rd. Skip by Night moving on the outside 4th. League leader up on the rim 5th. Mostly Melvin Alone inside 6th. Miller Scout 7th. Halftime 101 and 3. Around the clubhouse turn the second time. Fight the Foe in front by a length and a quarter. Rusty Abbott 2nd. Skip by Night in the outside 3rd. Champagne Happy Alone inside 4th. Mostly Melvin on the rail 5th. League leader alongside 6th. Miller Scout 7th. Down the backstretch. Fight the Foe in front by a little more than a length. Rusty Abbott on the rail 2nd. Skip by Night alongside 3rd. Champagne Happy on the inside 4th. League leader alongside 5th. Mostly Melvin on the rails 6th. Miller Scout 7th. 3 quarters, 132 and 1. Around the far turn, Fight the Foe in front by 3 parts of a length. Skip by Night draws alongside 2nd a challenge. Rusty Abbott on the rail 3rd. Champagne Happy boxed in on the inside 4th. League leader alongside 5th. Miller Scout the far outside 6th. They come to the top of the stretch. Fight the Foe on the inside has the lead. Skip by Night the outside second. Rusty Abbott towards the inside third. Through the stretch. On the outside, Skip by Night. Rusty Abbott on the inside. Skip by Night in front. Here's the finish. 3B, Skip by Night, the winner by about 3/4 of a length. 5D, Rusty Abbott finishing second along the inside. And we'll wait on the photo for the show spot. Let's go back to Spencer Ross in the press box.
Okay, Robert, there are so many times when the expression holds true. Excuses are for losers. Skip by Night had a good excuse last week, saddled with that bad post position. The excuse was a justifiable one, and he showed it tonight. And he is no stranger to the outside. In 2 of his 3 victories in the month of February, he came off the pace and was outside a good deal of the way. And this time, once again, Skip by Night showed why he just might be the best in this class of free-for-all pacers. They hit the 3/4. Fight the Foe, who had set the early pace, a 29-2 first quarter, but the second half, the middle half, was an easy one, 102-3. And there was Skip by Night, who had pulled at the 8th pole the first time around, ranging up on the outside around Fight the Foe. Along the rail, Rusty Abbott, who has had himself a darn good trip. And when Fight the Foe bears off the rail a bit, Rusty Abbott moves in, but Skip by Night comes towering home with a 29-2 final quarter along the inside. Rusty Abbott, and coming up quickly to finish third, Champagne Happy, and a big victory for Skip by Night in the 2nd division of the George Morton Levy Pacing Series. The mile paced in 2:01.3. Good victory indeed, and we'll find out all about it right now as we head downstairs to John Cirillo and winning driver Teddy Wing.
Last week, Skip by Night and Teddy Wing saddled with post 10 in the 2nd tier. This week, and then they came on to chug on to be 4th. This week, a different story. Post position 3, but parked out there, Teddy, and he came on for a very strong mile.
Yeah, he's a good horse. Just a real good horse. He went a long ways, but I don't bother him too much. I think he was the best horse tonight. Of course, it was muddy. You don't know if that affected Fight the Foe or the other horses. I was out where the footing was good, but he's a strong horse. Last week, he got beat because he got shuffled back to 11th, but he could beat any week, of course, but he's a pretty top horse right now.
Teddy, what were you thinking this week? First over against Fight the Foe, who uncorked a 158-1 last week. It's a tough mile on the outside, over a half a mile.
Well, I just didn't want to go at him very soon. Like, I didn't get head-and-head with him till the middle of last turn. I didn't want to attack him too early. I was afraid then, you know, that could beat me. So I just rode until just heading in the last turn. Then I get up even with him, and then my horse is just strong. My horse is a good horse.
He had 3 straight wins snapped last week. Comes back to beat him again. The best free-for-alls in the country. Is he the best in the country right now?
Oh, that's hard to say. Any horse can win any given week. Those are all good horses.
Okay, let's go back up top. That's Teddy Wing, the winner, behind Skip by Night, 2nd leg of the George Morton Levy Memorial Pacing Series. Back up top to Spencer Ross with the results.
5-year-old son of Meadows.
Not only this